Hey, this is Jordan from Jersey, and this is what I thought of the comics I read the week of February 3rd, 2010. And that's right, it's not a Lost video. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of Lost videos, but I might sprinkle them in between the comic reviews. But comic reviews are the bread and butter, so let's get started with them now. First off, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 619. This actually came out last week. Diamond didn't send it to the comic shop I go to, so I talked about it a little bit. I reread it for this review, and it really helped. It's rare that I reread a comic in the week that I get it. Like, I'll reread stuff, but it's usually not, like, right away. Once I reread it, everything in this comic is so well set up in this issue. I really got to hand it to Dan Slott, who wrote this, because it really was effective, especially in the second read, where I was like, oh my gosh, they set that up. Oh, and they set that up. In one scene, they set up so many different things that I did not catch on to in the rest of the issue. Awesome cover. You know, the Mysterio is the main villain, so the whole thing is kind of warped. The blood is very effective. And I mentioned Mysterio's redesign slightly when I touched on the issue, but I said he looked like a Stegosaurus, kind of. And while this isn't his actual costume, it's more of an add-on for a specific purpose. That is what I was referring to, and I think that looks pretty cool. I don't know if it's sustainable as a long-term costume option, but Martin really makes it look very cool. And like I said, Marcus Martin, he sticks around for the art in this issue, and presumably the next one. Love his art. Just dynamic poses, dynamic layouts. Very interesting stuff to look at. I mean, great story, but even if it wasn't a great story, everything in it, I can just go, oh, that's cool. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, that looks cool. That panel's neat. And, yeah, just a lot of cool stuff. So check this issue out and talk about issue 620 next week when that comes out, assuming my shop gets it, and I hope they do. So let's stay on the Spider-Man wavelength there and go to Spider-Man Noir Eyes Without a Face, issue 3 of 4. I like the layout. I like all these covers, but I do like how the color just kind of gradually bleeds in to the cover there and the bricks. This issue features Spider-Man getting beaten to a pulp. I mean, really beaten to a pulp. And, yeah, a lot of stuff happens in this issue. I continue to like what they're doing with the series. It is moving quite fast. And, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it, except if you've checked out any of the Noir titles and you haven't checked out Spider-Man Noir, definitely check it out. If you like Spider-Man in general, check it out. He's got an awesome costume, and a character happened to die in this issue that I wasn't quite expecting. So you might want to check that out, too. Next up, we have Cable issue 23, which I think actually has a pretty cool cover. I actually like pretty much all the covers this week that I'm reviewing. But, yeah, this one's alright. More of the same from Cable. This issue was marginally better, just in that they're kind of tying it back into things that happened earlier in the series. However, the sheer fact that the series has been going on for so long, doing the same exact thing that they can now tie back into older issues of the series that were doing the same thing, is not necessarily a compliment, because it was kind of boring back then. Also, I'm very curious as to why the toll collectors from the New Jersey Turnpike Authority of the future are using British slang, because I actually used to be one. Not quite the violent ones from this, because we are the ones of the present. We don't do that. We never use British slang, and it came off as very strange. But in good news, the issue does end with a to be concluded. Now, I do know issue 25 is listed as Deadpool and Cable, instead of Cable and Deadpool like the old series used to be. If they decide to keep the series going as that, or as anything other than this, I will be very happy. Cable and Deadpool is just an awesome series, but I'm so glad that this one's ending, because it's not good. And it's been consistently not good since pretty much the beginning of the series. So, whatever. Next up, we have Echo, issue 19, from writer, artist, creator Terry Moore. This is a series I caught up with. I planned on reviewing this issue when it came out. Turns out my shop had stopped ordering it just because people weren't buying it, but they're going to be ordering it for me now. So basically, this girl, Julie, she's out in a desert basin, I guess it would be best called. Not the best with geographical terms, but government's doing a weapons test of some type, and the fallout hits her. She wasn't supposed to be down there. I think she was taking pictures, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I read the beginning of the series. Anyway, she gets covered in this metal stuff, which is the beta suit, or what's left of it, and she can kind of shoot out like electricity and powers from that, and she kind of just wants it gone, but so does the government, and they're sending people after her, as well as another guy, a homeless guy who's kind of crazy, call him Kane. He thinks God wants him to find the rest of it so he can be like the angel of death or something. Kind of complicated. Not really. It's just 19 issues of backstory. One great thing about this comic, and I really do like Echo, and I will be continuing with it all the way through to the end, I think, is the sense of urgency. Almost every issue, since the beginning, has felt like, oh my gosh, we got to be right towards the end, because this just feels like it's ramping up and ramping up and ramping up, and every issue builds a little bit more. And we still haven't gotten that final conclusion. I don't even know how many issues the series is going to go for. All I know is it's been building and building and building to the point where, you couldn't cut the tension with a knife. You would need a chainsaw. I mean, oh my gosh, when things start to hit the fan, it's gonna get messy. And I cannot wait, because this is a fun series. Black and White. Not everybody's into Black and White. I know that pretty much the only other comic I read that's black and white is The Walking Dead, but it's not because I'm against black and white comics. They just like the color ones need to be good, except for Cable, but that's not the point. And this is an awesome comic. So as long as you are not put off by black and white, and don't be, because that's just comic racist or something, check out the series. And finally, this week we have Siege, number 2 of 4. And are you a fan of Ares, the God of War? Then oh my gosh, you're going to want to read this issue. Just saying. And if Echo was constantly building up to action, this series was non-stop, wall-to-wall action, except for a few points where it stopped, but they still felt kind of action-y. This time we get to see exactly what happens after the first issue when it looks like Thor was down for the count. We get to see what the actual heroes are doing in response to the siege and how they're going to come back with a vengeance, which looks like issue 3 and 4. The ending of this issue was quite nice. I liked it. And we get some more text in the back. This style, plus they printed the one page that was missing or skipped over in issue number 1, which was nice. They didn't have to, technically, but it was nice that Marvel was cool enough to put that in there. And this issue has a lot of Nick Fury and the Secret Warriors, which, if you remember my last comics episode, I really like those characters, so it's nice to see them in here. And all around, very fun. And oh my gosh, Ares. Oh my gosh. And when Ares' son, Phobos, stands up to Nick Fury, very, very awesome reply by Nick Fury. I won't give that away. But it was a typically awesome Nick Fury line. Quick question about the Sentry. Does anybody know, when his eyes are lit up, does that mean it is the Void, or just that he's using his power? I'm pretty sure it means he's the Void, but I just wanted to be clear on that. Anyway, that's it for the comics I read the week of February 3rd, 2010. Check back here next week for more comic reviews. Subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/JordanFromNJ, twitter.com/JordanFromNJ. And, yeah, I might be doing some more Lost episodes. You never know. I might be doing some other stuff around. You never know. If it's fun, if it's geeky and nerdy, you can pretty much trust that I'll be into it. So, see you later. Have a good week. Avoid the snow. It's snowing, or it was snowing in New Jersey. I just spent several hours shoveling. My body's killing me. And I think I'm going to go to bed now. So, laters.